common problem you might come across in the backcountry or in your backyard. Let's say you've gone out, you've collected your materials, you found some nice logs, they're dry and ready to burn. However, they're just too big. You won't be able to start a fire with this. So you need to find some way to split it. The first thing that comes to people's mind is probably something like this: a hatchet or a wood cutting axe. These can be really effective and useful in the field, but let's say you're on a backpacking trip. 1, this is heavy. 2, it's kind of a weird shape. And 3, is dangerous. A lot of people won't have this big, heavy, sharp object floating around in their backpack. And a lot of times, these can lead to some pretty serious accidents in the backcountry, which can result in emergencies. So, let's go ahead and we'll just set this aside. Instead, I'm going to show you how to use a small knife to split a big log like this. Come around in for a closer look. In order for this technique to work properly, you need a few things. First, you need to gather your wood. 1, I like to have a little smaller that fits in our hand. And we're actually going to be using this piece as a hammer to drive our knife that's working as a wedge through our log. Next, this technique works great on hard edges, so that way you can place your knife and take off small chunks. But it works for round and other shapes of wood as well. That's just for our situation. Lastly, you're going to need a good sharp knife. This knife here is what we call a fixed blade knife. Most camping knives you'll see are folding knives, meaning that the blade can pivot or slide into the handle here. This one here doesn't move. That provides extra strength for the blade, meaning it'll tolerate us hammering it down and driving it through our wood. You can't do this technique with a folding knife, because if you were to hammer down a folding knife, there's a chance that where that knife swivels, right at that joint, it could snap and break, causing injury. So only use this technique with a fixed blade knife. Let's show you how it's done. Before we get started, it's important to emphasize, whenever working with a knife or other sharp objects, you need to be careful, not only to protect yourself, but those around you. So, how exactly are we going to split this log with a small knife? You might think to yourself, this isn't sharp enough to split a log on its own, and you're right. Instead, we're going to be using this knife as a wedge, and we're going to be hammering that knife down through the length of our log, effectively splitting it. In order to do this properly, you're going to want to set your knife as close to the base of the handle as possible. That way, you'll have the thickest length of the blade and the most strength. Additionally, you'll have plenty of room to land your hammer and drive that knife down through your log. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. So, holding your knife securely with a piece of wood close to the base here, leaving yourself plenty of blade as your target, you're going to go ahead and hammer away. When you find yourself getting close to the bottom, instead of hammering your knife all the way into the stone, what you can do is just simply peel that wood back and set it aside. It's important to note that I have my log resting on a hard, flat surface, so that way when I'm hammering, I'm not just driving this log deeper into the dirt, but instead driving my knife through the log. And there you have it. Simple way to split a log with just the use of a knife. Lastly, let's say you want to get a nice tinder bundle or some wood shavings to help start your fire. All you have to do is rest your log against your leg or holding your arms and just simply shave some of these finer pieces off. And these fine little wood shavings are great for catching a spark or using as a part of your tinder bundle. These little wood shavings will go a long way in helping you start your fire.